The ground trembled beneath the feet of 30,000 warriors as King David led the greatest procession Israel had seen since the days of Moses. The Ark of the Covenant, the golden chest containing the stone tablets of Sinai, Aaron's budded rod, and the jar of manna, was coming home. For 20 long years it had languished in obscurity, first captured by Philistine hands, then abandoned as their cities broke out in tumors and panic, until finally resting in the house of Abinadab at Kiriath-Jearim. Now David, flush with victory over the Philistines, determined to bring this sacred relic to Jerusalem, the new capital of his united kingdom. The scene was electric with messianic fervor. Soldiers sang the ancient songs of Moses and Miriam. Musicians played harps, lyres, tambourines, and cymbals with abandon. David himself, stripped of his royal robes and clad only in a simple linen ephod like a common priest, danced with unrestrained joy before the ark, his limbs whirling in ecstatic worship. The very air seemed charged with divine presence as the procession wound its way through the Judean hills toward Zion. But beneath the pageantry lurked a fatal presumption. The ox-drawn cart carrying the ark was a Philistine invention, a pagan solution to a sacred problem. When the terrified Philistines had returned the ark years earlier, they placed it on a new cart pulled by milk cows, 1 Samuel 6 verse 7. Now Israel, in their careless enthusiasm, adopted the methods of their enemies rather than obeying God's clear command. The law was explicit. Only consecrated Levites from the family of Kohath could carry the ark, using the acacia wood poles inserted through its golden rings. Exodus 25 verses 12 to 14. Even then, they were forbidden to touch the ark itself on pain of death. Numbers 4:15. As the jubilant parade reached the threshing floor of Nacon, disaster struck. The oxen stumbled on the uneven terrain. The cart pitched violently. The ark, this sacred box that had toppled Dagon's statue, devastated Philistine cities, and once made the Israelites cry, "Who can stand before this holy God?" 1 Samuel 6 verse 20. Teetered precariously toward the dirt. Uzzah, Abinadab's son who had grown up with the ark in his father's house, acted on instinct. His hand shot out to steady the golden chest. His fingers made contact with the hammered surface where the cherubim's wings met. The effect was instantaneous and terrifying. A deafening crack of divine judgment split the air. Uzzah's body convulsed as if struck by 10,000 volts. His eyes rolled back. His limbs stiffened. He collapsed dead beside the cart, his lifeless fingers still inches from the Arkansas. The music died mid-chorus. The dancing froze. 30,000 voices fell silent as the awful reality dawned. They were in the presence of a holy God who does not tolerate human presumption. David's face drained of color. His earlier joy turned to white-hot anger, first at God, then at himself. "How can the ark of the Lord ever come to me now?" he roared, 2 Samuel 6 verse 9. The procession detoured to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite, where the ark remained for 3 months, during which time God richly blessed the humble Levites' household. When David finally attempted the move again, he did so with trembling obedience. The ark was carried properly by Levites, 1 Chronicles 15 verse 2. Sacrifices were offered every 6 paces. This time, when David danced, it was not with careless abandon but with holy fear. Uzzah's story echoes through eternity as a warning flare to all who would approach God on their own terms. It shatters our modern illusions of a tame deity who winks at disobedience. The same ark that brought blessing to Obed-Edom brought death to Uzzah, not because God is capricious, but because he is holy. In an age where worship is often reduced to emotional experience and God's commands treated as suggestions, Uzzah's corpse lies as an eternal monument. The road to Zion is paved not with good intentions, but with blood, first the blood of judgment, then the blood of sacrifice. Only when we come to God as he commands, not as we prefer, do we find that his holiness is not our destruction, but our salvation. The threshing floor where Uzzah fell would later be purchased by David as the site of the temple, where the mercy seat atop a new ark would receive the blood of atonement once a year. Centuries later, another would die outside Jerusalem's gates, his hands not reaching to steady the ark, but stretched out to bear the full weight of God's holiness, so that Uzzah's descendants might live.